Got all mad, broke a window.
Oh gosh.
Greg's over here. He's dying. He's got freaking COVID. He's got a fever. And what we found out was
Pneumonia.
we found out that
Hardcore
he's
fishing.
live scoping. And that's what happened. He caught COVID by live scoping. Tell us
Sucked in
how
too
that
much
happened.
cold air.
Yeah.
No. That's not what happened. What we're talking about is live scope. Using live scope, how it's affected the fish population, and of course we're talking about people that have used live scope for a long time, and all of them, and so not just people that are catching roamers. We're also Lance is here, and of course he's a spider rigger. So I mean,
It's a tool that can be used in any direction of fishing.
That's
period.
right.
I mean,
So-
it's
We'll just find out. Anyone opposed to live scope fishing, raise their hand. Okay.
none
That
of
pretty
us.
much
are.
does it. None of us are. I mean, it's just the way it's the way it is, and apparently the bass world is having issues with it because now they're dealing like what the crappie anglers dealt with 3 years ago,
Right.
in the tournament circuits, and so now they're dealing with that, but they're also seeing that people are coming back, and they're also the bass guys are also
And it's hard to
still
tell.
pitching under docks, but
In a lot of ways, it's hard to tell. Is the quote haters upset at the live scope, or are they upset because somebody has learned it well enough and understand it to the point that they're catching quality fish?
that's right.
I mean, I can honestly say, and I think all of us can sit here, even though Lance spider rigs more than, and I'm probably second on spider rigging, and me and you both spider rig quite a bit too, but we still do a fair amount of single pole roaming, chasing roamers to whatever. And you're starting to do it some as well, but you also do the bass thing with the live scope.
Right. Yep.
And I think over the 5 years that I have been experiencing with live scope, I have caught more quality fish on our home lake than I ever before. I mean, we would catch back in the day before we had this. We caught good fish, but we would catch 3 out of 30 good fish.
Right.
And and now we are catching, more of those. And yes, there's a lot of other people doing the same thing. Then that throws the question of, well, what's it going to do to our population? I don't think it's hurting our population because the bottom line is, for all the years that we didn't have live scope, we had these quality fish that was here and it was in our lake that none of us knew about.
Right.
And those fish would get old to the point they die and they
Right.
sink to the bottom of the lake and nobody knew nothing. Now we're catching more of those fish. So, and to believe it or not, we have cleaned quality fish that has had small crappie in there.
Yeah.
So they feed off of the little
Yeah.
crappie as well. So now with that, catching some of the bigger ones out, I think it gives more opportunity for us to filter in more quality fish. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but
Well,
that's,
does when you take people out, has that changed, Payton, over the last couple of years? When you go to say book a trip, do they specify? Well, we don't want to use that, or
Yeah, they
you
will. They'll tell me like I want
Uh-huh.
I want you to take us out and
Yeah.
show us how to use live scope, or they want to learn spider rigging or dog shooting. But 90% of them now they just they want to learn the live scope thing.
that's why I say we don't spider rig as much as we used
Yeah,
to.
because they prefer I just want to go out there and learn how to do it, how you set up your unit, what you use. They look at the poles, And like I got guys in the boat, they're like writing stuff down and like ordering it right there in the boat.
And it's that same token of what he's saying there. That's been good and that's been bad because some of those people have went out and purchased live scope and they'll never go fishing with another guide again because they're out there doing it.
Taught them that one thing.
And we was able to teach them that one thing. Not a bad thing. I mean, is it bad? The only bad thing about it is we lost another trip out of it. We're used to when we were just doing spider rigging and stuff, we had that person repeated.
Yeah, because they come back and like, pulling
so
crankbaits.
now the one guy you taught 5 of his buddies.
Yeah.
So that's 5 more people we lost. And so,
Exactly.
But that's just, that's part of it.
But there's always people come in behind them that's wanting to learn too. So it has hurt it and it hadn't hurt it.
And you use your Garmin when you're spider scoping.
Yeah.
That's my
spider scope.
Spider scope. No,
that's mine. If y'all try and use it, that's mine. It's patented.
Yeah. Spider.
Don't be looking at me.
Has it helped you?
Yeah.
You think?
Help me with catching fish?
Oh,
well, like keep you from fishing dead zones.
Yeah. I mean, especially when the fish are real bad scattered.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're real bad scattered, I'm constantly panning it to find them. And
I mean, to us, it's become a tool.
Yeah, it is. It's a tool. I mean, right when you drop the trolling motor, when I first started out, you didn't know their depth. I mean, I was like,
exactly.
Except when I'm fishing shallow, but when you're in 20 foot of water, I'm like, do I need to put it 15? Do I need to put
How
it 12?
many times before you got live scope? How many times did you drop your tow motor just under the bridge down here where you fish all the time, and fish from there all the way to the back before you ever?
Yeah.
And then go almost all the way back there before you ever catch a fish to figure out where you needed to be.
Yeah.
Well, now,
I mean, I drop trolling motor.
You got your side scan you can look at, but then you can also drop tow motor, turn on high, go 100 yards. Well, we need to start right here instead of back there.
Yeah.
I
mean, it breaks it down, but I mean, it takes all the depth guess out.
Yes, sir.
8 drop down. Oh, they're 8 feet deep.
Yeah.
Put them 7 feet, 6 feet deep, and go.
It doesn't make them bite though every time.
No. I mean, it's still tough conditions.
I don't know. It seems like now what I've noticed is they're how spooky they are. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's. I mean,
maybe they were spooky before.
That's what I'm
now
thinking.
You're like.
I mean, I've only been using it for. I don't know. I've been using it about 3rd year now, I guess, and it seemed like when I first got it, I got it like bad time of year, I guess. Maybe like right when the fish are stupid, I got it like in March. But, and that whole summer was good, but then as it turned back around, I'm like, boy, these fish are really all the time spooky.
Well, I think that...
so I don't know if we're educating them out there now. Is there more fishing pressure on them now?
Well, I think as far as that goes, I don't think the fish are any spookier than they ever been. Mm-hmm. It's just a crappie. If you're fishing crappie and you're in a good group of crappie, they'll get on you. Even if no matter whether you're dock shooting or what, after you catch, it just almost seems to. It's really weird because I think the fish themselves put off a scent,
stress
to alarm the other fish, whether they've been caught or whether something spooked them, whether it's a boat water splash on the deal or what. They sent out a scent or signal that alarm. It may be that alarms that other fish.
I know.
And I mean, you can sit right here on a bus pile, and you can catch 5 fish in a row, and you can catch one fish, and it's a little fish, and you can throw him out right there, or you can throw him as far as you want to throw him, and you can watch him microscope. He'll swim right back in that deal.
Yep.
But your bite will change. Especially after you throw 1 or 2 bites, the bite changes. And they may move from this part of the brush pile to this part of the brush pile. I've seen them swim plumb out of the brush pile. Disappear.
Just from catching one of them.
Exactly.
Up high even.
So I don't think it's anything that the live scope's spooking the fish. I think that's just more knowledge and more stuff that we're seeing that we've never seen before.
Yeah,
And,
it's subsonic, so they can't actually.
I mean, you said
they
that.
can't. Yeah, they can't hear it.
Yeah.
And so I think what they're hearing is the trolling motor turning.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because I've done a lot of like release fish type things, videos. I put my GoPro underneath there. It's nice and quiet. Second they hit that trolling motor to turn the boat a little bit, it sounds like someone's got their nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. Some of them, those guys that got bent shafts, and then it's like, I'm like, wow.
And that water slapping in the wind, it slaps the boat. Yeah. We've seen a little bit of that yesterday.
But you're in the end. Richard Sims did a specific study, and he found I think it was 51%. It's just a little over 50% of the anglers have live scope now. Mm-hmm. That the anglers that they were talking to coming to the ramp. And when he asked me that question, I said on Beaver Lake, I said it's a lot higher than that. I'd say it's like 80% of the anglers have.
There's a lot.
I mean, you're talking boats here that the boat's worth maybe $2,000, maybe. And that includes the trailer, the engine, and their lunch, and everything they brought with them that day. And they have
boats yesterday that was just a tiller handle motor, flat bottom boat, B-bottom boats, and they all had live scope.
Mm. But the population, the crappies really good on Beaver Lake right now.
And that's
not hurting.
That's the problem I've had with some people hating on me is like, oh, you're catching too many, you're cleaning too many. I'm cleaning the same amount of fish as I did before live scope.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
And I'm like, go back and look at my Facebook. Go back and look at my Facebook. I was cleaning pound and 3/4 black crappie.
Same way with
without live scope, and all the time. Yeah. I was catching them. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah. I'm still filleting the same amount. I'm just catching them faster now, and I'm getting off the water faster. Yeah. I'm out fishing all day. Yeah. So, that's helped a lot. But I think a lot of the hate so far has been, no offense to the older men, but it's been the older generation getting mad at the younger guys coming in on it.
Yeah. And learning.
And I would be the same way. If I was an old man and all these young guys kept bringing in limits and I got 5.
Well,
it'd probably irritate me.
It's not all just necessarily live scope. The thing is the legends that we learned under.
Right.
And, look at Garland Valines. He passed away last year, but, how much have we learned from that guy that learned, he used to fish with a flasher.
Right.
And, he one of the best on the lake.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot from him. Mm-hmm. And those guys had to absorb their knowledge. They had to remember their knowledge. Alton Pennington is another one.
Yeah.
That guy can navigate and take you to more brush piles without a locator than any man on this lake. I promise you, he can. The guy is phenomenal, but he's got live scope now.
But like you said, he uses it as a tool. He'll look at it and then he'll just turn away from it and just keep casting in there.
He keeps in contact with it, but he has a hard time trying to fish the way you and I do.
Right.
The roamers, because he just doesn't have, he's schooled in on them brush piles.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so
that's his comfort. That's what he knows. And
exactly.
And he's doing good. He's catching big ones too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
but it's, I think that a lot of the hatred stuff comes from whether it be that they can't afford it or they just hardcore and don't want to go to that.
Haven't been in a boat and seen it and used it.
Exactly.
Or they've got their boat and it's rigged wrong.
Yeah.
And they can't see their jig. That's how many calls you get a week of, I can't even see my jig. This is a piece of junk.
Yeah. I had 3 today.
And they get mad. They do.
That's because sometimes their transducers on backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Installed by a marine place, even.
Exactly.
I had 3 calls today on people wanting to know how they could see their jig better. And one guy actually was on the water. And I said, well, first off, pull your tow motor up and store your tow motor and show me a picture of your transducer. Uh-huh. And he had the old 32. And so he pulls it up and he sends me a picture of it. And I said, well, you're looking under the boat. And he says, no way. And I said, yeah, you're looking under the boat. I said, tell you what you do. I said, now put your trolling motor back in the water and turn it like you're going to back up, like you're going to use your trolling motor back up. And I said, now pitch your jig out there and I said, pitch it on the right side of your trolling motor. Pitch your jig out there. And so he pitched it out there, and he's got his phone on the screen. I said, there's your jig right there. Hey, where? I said, right there. I said, it's about 3 foot down, 4 foot, 5 foot. Oh, that's it now. I said, okay. Now, pull that trolling motor back up like it's supposed to be stored, and take your transducer and click it 2 clicks back on the left side. Click that. The way you're going to be looking at it, click it to the left, 2 clicks. I said, now put your trolling motor back in the water. He put trolling motor back in, and it was fine. So
yeah,
I think what I saw down like in Mississippi in the tournament anglers is they actually are just targeting, and I mean these are guys like Hayden Jeffries and some of those guys. They're just targeting big crappie.
Yeah.
So they're not doing much damage to the rest of that population because they literally will go. They'll go quite a ways before they drop on a fish. They're looking for a big fish, and so it was interesting to see that.
Yesterday, Payton and I fished a new water to us.
Right.
And we were pretty much doing the same thing, targeting.
I won't throw at it if it's 10 inches.
And we wasn't. I mean, we probably didn't.
I want 12 to 16.
Yeah, but we probably didn't catch more than a dozen that was between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
Right.
But we tried to do the same thing, and we had our limits, and we had easily 12 to, I don't know what the longest.
12 to 15 probably. Yeah, well, yours 15, is like 16 and a half.
16.
So when people call you up to go spider rigging, is that one of their questions that they ask?
About live scope? I mean, no, not really. No? I don't. If people call me up, they want to know how to minnow rig. They want, or they want to just go catch fish. I don't really.
Do you think they learn anything by going and seeing that spider rig? Because
I think they're impressed.
All of us have gone with you, and we all know that the middle 2 rods are the ones that you're seeing when that thing's face forward.
I think a lot of these people hadn't even seen live scope people out there.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just people.
And we still get a fair amount out ourselves.
I mean, these are people who just want to go fish and catch fish. They
want to have a fish fry.
And, and the live scope, a lot of them, this first time they've ever seen it, and it's like one lady, I take old married couples and like, I said, you see that? I said, and she goes, that little critter that's swimming. And I said, yeah, that one's about to hit your bait. And, this is people that's never been. Yeah. Most of mine are just people just want to catch fish for a fish fry.
I
never really have had people want to go out to like learn how to use live scope. And I'm not even really going to teach them how, because basically he set it up and I'm not touching it. And
I touched it, but I moved it back to what he had.
Moved it back.
The same
you got to get in the boat with him again because he got a different one now.
Yeah. So I don't touch it. The only time I might touch it is to change the gain up to brighten it up. I mean, I don't. I mean, I even people call me, hey, can you take me on the live? Can I go in your boat to set me up with live scope? I referred them to you 3. I said, I don't do that. I said, I'm not going to do that.
Don't you guys agree that I think the biggest misconception is they say it's those young kids have that advantage because they're always on their phone and on the computer. And we sit around here, watch old folks. And if you remember Mario and all those games started, we're not talking Pong. I mean, we're talking that they were playing video games long before that, before they got out on that water.
Yeah.
Before Atari.
Right.
They were playing Atari and getting my age. And then Xbox. Those people that say, man, they're only good because they're young. That ain't true because you look at this old man. I mean, he don't have no problems playing electronics.
The thing on the electronics is, it don't matter what kind of electronics you have. I don't care if you have live scope or if you have just structure scan or sonar. Yeah. I've always said, and I've said it for years, I've told him more times than one, if you learn to read your electronics, it will change the way you fish.
That's right.
And with live scope, it's, to most people, and the biggest struggle we have with live scope on people is they're ready to plug and play, and it's going to be simple. It's not simple. It's not simple because beyond the settings that we just talked about,
right?
The next victim that you got to learn and be very patient with is boat control.
Yeah.
Boat control. You can understand that live scope the best of anybody, and you're not going to catch crap because you can't control your boat.
Control the boat and cast.
Yeah.
Cast to where
is next. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't do that, because I take people out and teach them their electronics. And I'm here to tell you, I've taken a lot of people.
Thanks for taking Hank out the other day.
I took Hank out.
Yeah, he called me and I told him he needed to call you.
He was like, I said, well, we're just going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about frequencies and the reason why you're seeing stuff and how that all sets up. And then I said, then I'm going to show you your lure. He said, I never seen my lure before.
With his hummingbird.
And I said, no, by God, we're going to show you. You're going to be able to see it. And I said, you don't, and he doesn't have live scope.
Yeah.
Old school, brush piles, you see your jig, it go down, and you would see the line where your jig is, and you would still, like, literally, you'd still see it.
He has hummingbirds, right?
Yeah, he had hummingbirds.
Yeah, I was telling him to call you.
Yeah, that was a little bit more of a challenge on hummingbird. Yeah. Well, it's hummingbird, and it wasn't a touch screen. So it doesn't matter any brand if it's not a touch screen. It's
basics.
Yeah, it's harder because you're using a multifunction keypad to move it around and
arrow and up and down.
Everyone's used to swiping. And I mean, a couple of times on people when I go with the manuals, I go, well, that don't work. But yeah, I mean that's the deal. But I tell you what, it's if you're for it or you're against it, let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us the reason why. We'd like to hear, and then
send us messages.
We'll retouch on this as many times as we have to because it's part of the whole deal. It's part
and the government
spider rigging.
The government agencies are watching it. It's all being watched.
That's right.
They're doing research, and Live Scope's actually helped with research, even on this lake with paddlefish or spoonbill.
Oh my God.
They didn't think there's very many in here.
Holy cow!
And now guess what?
Tons.
Now we're getting a snagging. We're going to get a tag for a snagging to be able to snag a spoonbill here up here on this end. Yeah.
I'm going.
Exactly.
I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, we all need to do that.
So we're gonna catch 160 pounds.
We need to get all of us get a tag, get on one boat, and go do it.
Yeah. So
that would be.
And that's great.
Yeah.
So
all right. Well, that ends our show. We're going to just wrap it up.
All right.
We've run to the end. If you want to check out any of us, you'll see it below the caption. You can just click on it and you can go to that, or you can just send us a message and we'll get one of us to take you out fishing there.
Yeah.
And we'll be using our electronics, or we can turn them off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if I'm pulling crankbaits. It doesn't matter because the crankbaits are so far back.
That'll be post-spawn.
Yeah, that'll be post-spawn. And we'll get into that, but that's how we're going to end it. Like we always like to say, make sure you keep it hardcore. These guys been practicing. They're getting good.